Today, you will experience the life simulation of an ancient Egyptian pyramid builder. You are born in a small village by the Nile. Your father is a mason and your mother weaves cloth at home. Every year when the Nile floods, the entire village must go to work for the pharaoh. At age 6, your father takes you to the pyramid construction site for the first time. You are stunned by the sight. Thousands of people swarm like ants among massive piles of stone. Your father points at the half-built pyramid and tells you this is the pharaoh's eternal house. The pharaoh is a god from heaven, and building his palace is the greatest honor. At age 10, you officially become an apprentice at the pyramid site. Your job is to hand tools to stonemasons, carry rubble, and deliver water and food. Life at the construction site is hard. You wake before dawn and work until sunset. But the pharaoh provides food and shelter, plus bread and beer. Gradually you learn your father's craft, how to chisel precise right angles in limestone with copper tools, and how to check if stone surfaces are level. At 13, you complete your first stone block independently. After inspection, the overseer pats your shoulder and says you are better than your father was at your age. At 15, you are transferred to the hauling team. Together with 20 others, you drag 2-ton stone blocks from the quarry to the pyramid base using ropes and wooden sleds. This is the most dangerous job on the site. Snapped ropes, slipping stones, shattered rollers. Every month someone is injured or killed. Your left little finger is crushed by a stone in an accident. The site doctor treats you with herbal medicine and linen bandages. After 3 days of rest, you return to work. At 18, your exceptional skill earns you promotion to stone crew foreman. You lead 10 men, responsible for stone placement on the pyramid's 40th level. Working high on the pyramid, you can see the entire Nile Delta, distant oases, the winding river, and several completed pyramids spread before your eyes. At 20, you marry the village blacksmith's daughter. The pharaoh's scribe records her name beside yours on papyrus. This is your only marriage certificate. Every year during the Nile flood season, you return home for 3 months. These are your happiest times, with your wife, watching your children grow day by day. But each time you return to the site, you notice familiar faces are missing. Some died of illness, some fell to their deaths, and some simply never came back. At 25, you are sent to learn a new skill, carving hieroglyphics and painting murals on the walls of the burial chambers inside the pyramid. This is the most respected work on the entire site. Every word you carve and every image you paint will accompany the pharaoh into eternal life. Your craftsmanship grows ever more refined. Your carved eye of Horus is lifelike, your painted Osiris solemn and majestic. Even the high priest comes specifically to view your work. At 30, the pharaoh personally inspects the construction. He stops before the wall you carved and studies it for a long time. Then he tells his attendants, "Reward this craftsman with 10 acres of land." 10 acres of land. In that era, this is the highest reward a craftsman can receive. Your wife cries for an entire day when she hears the news. From now on, your family is no longer tenants, but landowners. At 35, the pyramid is finally complete. 20 full years of construction, and you have grown from a child handing tools to the finest muralist. On the day of the capstone ceremony, the entire site erupts in celebration. But with the pyramid finished, the craftsmen are out of work. Some return home to farm, others move to new sites. You are chosen to stay and help build the pharaoh's temple. At 40, the old pharaoh dies. After the new pharaoh ascends the throne, he begins building his own pyramid. You are appointed chief craftsman of the new site, managing 3,000 workers. But the new pharaoh is a tyrant. He demands the construction time be cut in half, yet refuses to provide a single extra grain of food. Workers grumble openly, and you are caught in the middle. At 43, a revolt erupts on the site. Workers refuse to work and demand more food. The pharaoh's army arrives to suppress them, and over a dozen people are killed. As chief craftsman, you are summoned before the pharaoh. Kneeling on the ground, you muster the courage to say that if the workers are not fed, the pyramid will never be finished. The pharaoh is silent for a long time, then finally agrees to increase the rations. After 45, your eyesight begins to fail. Years of carving murals in dimly lit burial chambers have ruined your vision. You must hand over the fine detail work to younger craftsmen. You begin passing your lifetime of skills to your son and apprentices. You teach them how to mix pigments, draw perfect lines on stone, and make hieroglyphics that will never fade. At 50, you quietly spend your last Nile flood season in your own fields. You watch the water slowly rise and soak your land, just as it has for thousands of years. In your lifetime, you moved tens of thousands of stones with your bare hands, carved countless murals, and witnessed the greatest structure in human history rise from the earth. For 1,000 years later, the hieroglyphics you carved remain perfectly legible. Your name has long been forgotten, but your work will live forever in the memory of human civilization. This was the life of an ancient Egyptian pyramid builder.